This is my electric skateboard. I got it 5 years ago and have put just over 4,000 miles on it. If you don't believe me, here's the odometer on the remote. That comes out to 4,107 freedom units. The board is still in one piece, somehow. It's got the original ESC, the original deck, the plastic casings for the battery and ESC. The trucks are original, the front wheels are original, and the cores of the motor are original. However, I've decided to retire it permanently. The deck is one large bump away from sending my flesh prison straight into oncoming traffic. The battery is about to drop out of the casing on its own. The sleeves on the motors are chewed up, and more importantly, one is warped, so if I go above 10 miles an hour, it's extremely bumpy. And repairing all this would cost basically $200, which at this point, considering the board is $400, is just not worth it. So now that it's finally reached the point of no return, I can confidently muse on the place electric skateboards have in the world. Is it a good way to get around? What's the cost per mile? Is it fun? Do people think you're cool? Alright, let's get the numbers out of the way. I know that's why a lot of you guys are here. That's the thumbnail. The board was $430, somehow no tax. I had to replace the polyurethane sleeves on the motor twice. The battery, I had to replace once. I still have that second battery. That's actually still totally fine. The total for the two sleeves and the battery was $330. I also had to spend $17 on a new set of bearings for the front wheels. The total for ownership comes out to $777. I've gone just over 4,100 miles. That comes out to 19 cents a mile. I know what you're thinking, are you going to include the cost of electricity? Honestly, electricity costs are completely negligible. This battery is the bigger battery of the two I've had, and it's a fifth of a kilowatt hour. Average electric delivery for America is like 11 cents a kilowatt hour, so a full charge on this is 2-3 cents, and then you go 9 miles on that full charge, so you're looking at a third of a cent per mile. Even if you live in California where electricity is ridiculous, like 44 cents a kilowatt hour, still half a cent, you know, almost. Maybe you can add a cent per mile, whatever, 20 cents if you really want to, but still 19's fine. And honestly, 19 cents a mile isn't that good. Like, a car is 70 cents a mile, 72 cents in 2024. Of course, it's gonna be better than a car. That's a pretty low bar. But if you have a scooter, an electric scooter, a real scooter like a Honda, or a Grom, a small, efficient motorcycle, you're gonna be getting about that, maybe even a little cheaper if you do your own maintenance. And with that, you get pneumatic tires, fenders, you can ride in the rain, better brakes, turn signals. I mean, the list goes on. Like, you get way more amenities. Granted, your initial investment is going to be higher. This board's, you know, $430. One of those is going to be $3-4 grand, but it'll last way longer. You know, instead of 4,000 miles before it's not worth repairing, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 miles. So if we're talking just commuting cents per mile, electric skateboard is not going to be the move. However, the electric skateboard does have advantages. First of all, it's super easy to grab and go. You can just finish getting ready for work in the morning, getting ready for school, pick it up off the wall, unplug it, you're good. You don't have to take it out of the garage. You don't have to grab a lock to bring with you. You don't have to deal with anything. You don't have to start it, warm it up, none of that. You just grab it, roll it, it turns itself on, you get out of there. So if you're doing really short trips, you know, super short trips, I mean 2-3 miles or even a few hundred feet, if you're just popping over to your homie's house, the electric skateboard is undoubtedly the king. You can just grab it, hop on, and leave. You have no setup, no set down. That's really sweet. You also don't have to worry about filling it up with gas. You don't need to go on a gas stop on your commute. You just plug it in when you get home. You don't need to worry about insurance. When you get to where you're going, you can just pick it up, bring it inside with you. You don't have to worry about locking it or worry about it getting stolen. You can charge it. And then, of course, it's actually really fun to ride. And I will put an asterisk next to fun, because it's really fun on smooth streets. That requires two things. First of all, the street has to be smooth at all. It's got to be a nice asphalt road. Second of all, it needs to be regularly swept. I think a lot of people don't think about this. If the street is smooth but it's not swept, it's going to be covered in rocks, and you're going to be bumbling along and just constantly hitting rocks, and it's a total pain in the butt. So you have to live in a big city with good infrastructure that's regularly maintained. Then it's really fun. Super fun to carve around, thread between cars, lane split. It's sweet. It's really entertaining. It feels kind of like riding a snowboard on the street. So when it comes to like a toy, for having a good time, it's great. That's a whole different story. But in terms of what I have been using it for primarily, which is a way to get around, it's not really, there's better options. I mean, an electric scooter, already pneumatic tires, you don't have to deal with all the bumpiness of the road. Harder to bring inside because it's bigger, but I'd say even an electric scooter would be good. Then you're gonna look kind of dorky though, you're riding an electric scooter. If you wanna look like a fucking Sigma, you can ride an electric unicycle, but also if you wanna get a decent one of those, they're a lot more expensive. If you want an electric unicycle that goes as fast as this, you are looking to spend at least $1,500. The fact that you can go 30 for 400 bucks is pretty absurd. So if you live somewhere with smooth streets, smooth roads that are regularly maintained, this is actually sweet. If you live anywhere else where it's remotely bumpy or extremely hilly, get something else, get an e-bike, get a scooter. So yeah, that's my opinion. After 4,000 miles of electric skateboarding, I will not be buying another electric skateboard. I have switched to an e-bike. Peace.